Just need a little more coffee first. Just a few more sips. It's earnings day. It's like our Super Bowl, if you will. Will you? Why not? Let's get into it. I'm Brian. Welcome to my Tesla weekend. Gonna let you just imagine the jingle real quick. If you're here and it does not appear that you are, let me know in the chat because it does not appear that you are. We're just waiting on this guy to show up here. We're not going to make the same mistake we did last time where we where we clicked on the wrong quarter and got very excited. I mean, we can do that now if you want. That'd be fun. So my first question for everyone out there is, where are you tuning in from? Where are you right now? It can be as vague or specific as you like. There's a busy schedule for us today. There are going to be 3 events. There's going to be this one right here and now. We'll probably hang out right until it drops. And then I'm going to be jumping over onto Oracle Investments channel with Tim, and Peggy will be there. Very excited about that. And then after the call, I'm going to be joining Herbert and probably doing a simulcast here. It's a big day, my friends. It's a big day. There we go. Interested to see how Megapack affects earnings per share. I'm also excited for that. Rob and Chetan, hello to you as well. And Dominic, hello from the UK. Dominic is one of my son's names, and he has been to the UK. We took him, I took him, it was his graduation present. All my boys, I love travel, so all my boys get, that's funny, YouTube just popped up. Now would be a good time to insert ads. No, it wouldn't. That's rude. Travel expands the mind, and I love travel. I think it's an important thing, and I want my children to experience a non-family kind of trip, just a being bros adults trip. So I did take my two of my boys to the red light district in Amsterdam briefly. It was very uncomfortable and awkward. Yeah, that was not the same experience that they would get, I imagine, should they return. But yeah. MD Hofsty, I know where you are. Columbia, South Carolina, we've got in there. Hello, Stephen. Or Stefan, I apologize. Dubai, very cool. And Ottawa. Love it. Great stuff. Had a chance to go to Canada for Fully Charged this year. That was my first time in Canada in probably more than 10 years, I would say. Maybe about 10 years. Wales, very fun, I'm told. I have not been to Wales. Can't put the H in that. That doesn't have an H. So what are you guys looking for in the earnings? The street's expecting what? 72 cents, 82 cents, something like that. What are your expectations? What do you want to see? Megapack, let's start on that. Oh, Froman pointed out, congrats on the new Tesla, Brian. Thank you. I have ordered a Model Y. In case you haven't heard, I've done the very scary, very big, very bold thing of ordering a Model Y and doing so with my hand shaken on a video with Somi Tesla Girl. That was very fun. I'm going to relocate if you know where I'm at now. Well, I know what part of the world you're in. I wouldn't be that paranoid. I'm still sad we didn't get to meet. I will be back in the Midwest, not necessarily in your neck of the woods, but I will be in Detroit around Father's Day. I will be in Muskegon the day before Father's Day for the big Michigan Tesla event. That's going to be fun. Brookings, Oregon. Well, I'm just across the bridge in Washington, hour north of Portland. We're practically neighbors, Carl. Lombardia, Italy. So 81 cents earnings per share. Can we do it? Can we do it? We've had big price cuts. Now, one thing to remember is a lot of times when there is a backlog, those big price jumps you see aren't reflected because anything that's still in the pipeline at those higher prices, when there's a price cut, if you haven't signed and taken delivery, you get the lower price. And when the price goes up, they don't jack it up on you if you haven't taken delivery. As long as you got your $250 order fee in, you are good to go. Oh, right channel. Thank you for the catch. I will fix that. I do that so that when I'm recording, I get separate audio tracks for me and the guest, and then I can mix it later. Thank you for catching that. Fixed. Hello, Northeast England. Okay. So, and Vancouver. Which Vancouver, David? I'm close to the southern one. But I was in the other one. Oh, yeah. I think we talked about that. So when the price goes up, it doesn't, not all sales are at that higher price. Anything in the pipeline that was lower gets the lower price. And when price cuts happen, not all cars, no cars after that date have the higher price. So that softens the blow a little bit. We've seen battery prices improving, but Tesla has long-term mineral contracts, long-term battery supply contracts that may not be immediately reflected in that way. So that happens too. Let's see. Yeah, taking the boys to see the red light district. What they didn't understand was that it was like storefronts, that it was a physical place that spans many blocks. And then we had some gyros at a lovely little gyro place. New Zealand. Oh, wow. So it's got to be... No, it's not too late there. Not too bad. So let's see. So on the mega packs, we saw them do price cuts, which they didn't need to do. They have backlogs. They have a big backlog of orders, but they still did price cuts on the mega packs, suggesting to me that efficiencies are already being realized, that material costs are already going down. What I'd really like to see is more mega factories. As soon as the battery supply can catch up, I'm confident we will see those. Another Brian from Denmark. Very cool. Curious to hear the commentary on cost savings with the Giga presses. So, I asked a bunch of very pointed questions about the Giga presses of Corey Steuben, formerly of Monroe & Associates and of Sandy Monroe. The first question I asked is it lighter than the stamped steel? And one of them said, and they both said, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I'll check. These were two separate conversations, obviously. I think it was Corey that said it's about the same, and I think it was Sandy that said it might even be a little bit heavier. So the weight is not a savings, but in terms of cost, I asked Corey, which is cheaper to build, the 3 or the Y? We'd heard initially that the Y could be cheaper to build. And he said, boy, cheaper to build. He said, it's easier to build, it's quicker to build. The Y has more atoms. He said, but I think the cars, the 3 and the Y, cost the same to build because the Giga Press does introduce that much savings. You've got a huge, expensive machine you got to put in, but once you've put it in, it just runs and runs. And the new castings that they do, Sandy had told me that that the clamps they used to use, you might get 50 or 100 good molds out of it before you've got to retool the molding. And he said now it's thousands and thousands, which is, and I think he said months. So that would be, maybe 100,000, who knows. Cape Elizabeth, Maine. I have never been that far to the Northeast. The farthest I've made it is Long Island. Slovenia. Wow. I'm getting some great viewers from a lot of places where I don't necessarily have all that many viewers. That's wonderful. I looked to see what kind of viewers I have in Africa, and I have very few. That's unfortunate. I do have quite a few viewers in India because I've done a fair amount of coverage from India. Of India, not from India. Andrew Jameson from the UK. I am doing well. Good to see you, my friend. Palm Desert, waiting on Model Y. Palm Desert. So I've been to Palm Desert for a conference once. And I went to Palm Springs. There's a really cool escape room there. Got to meet the owners back when we were still travel writers. That was very fun. Sleeping 4 hours, that's not good. Hello from Sweden, yes. Salt Lake City. I have driven through it once and flown through it twice. Do I have a Tesla now? Not yet. I've ordered it. I do not have my delivery date yet or my VIN number. In this state, we have to provide proof of insurance at the time of purchase, and I can't get that until I have the VIN number. But that should be very quick. West Cork, Ireland. Lovely. Got to see Ireland for the first time just this year. It was wonderful. Ooh, 6 days a week. Auckland, New Zealand, 8:30 a.m. Long Island. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. I have family. A lot of my family is from Long Island. So, the Big Island. Very cool. Yes, it's going to be exciting to actually be able to give reports about Tesla with firsthand experience. And I have quite a bit of firsthand experience, but it's not the same as, oh, the new version of FSD is out. Let me go see if I got it. Or 23 dot whatever is out. So, what color? So it is the 7-seat long range, because that's the only one with more than 5 seats that isn't a Model X. And gray, because it's the free color. And 19-inch, because it's the free wheels. And I wanted the 19-inch and the gray anyhow, so that's perfect. I want the softer ride. I want the diminished opportunity for curb rash. I want the extra range. And I don't need to look. I already look so cool, you guys. If I looked any cooler, what would happen? We don't know. The universe could quite possibly implode. You will be socialized more with Ellie and Joe. Yeah. I've met them both quite a few times, and they're wonderful people. Ellie and I keep trying to do a collaboration, and it just never works out because we try to do them in person, and it's so busy and hectic, and then we try and schedule them, and our schedules don't line up. And, yeah. And my questions about SpaceX are ones that she's already covered so extensively. But, are you late for the pudding? You are not the pudding. You are just in time. How is the voting going? So far, so good. Pretty evenly split, which I always think is the sign of a quality poll. We ordered the gray. They changed the free color to gray the day we picked it up. They gave us the color for free. Pretty neat. That is so rare. You don't see that. Here's another thing that happened to me in my order process that surprised me. So I'm filling out the app. It's saying, oh, are you going to be financing? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be fine. So, of course, I apply for the Tesla financing because if their rate is close to what I can find on the street, I'm going to take it. And I looked around. I'm finding 7.5, 8, 8.5. Bank of America is up close to 10 on new car loans. That's bonkers. So I fill it all out. I don't know if you guys can hear mowing. There's nothing I can do about that. That's the city mowing across the street. So I fill it all out, and it says your rate is probably going to be 6.5. And I was like, wow, that's the best rate I have seen. And then I get an automated message 6 hours later. Your loan has been approved. Your rate is not 6.5. And I'm like, well, of course not. If it goes up, it goes up. And if it goes down, they'll just not tell you. No, your rate is 6.19. Now, mind you, I have pretty good credit, I think. I mean, I believe I have very good credit. But I didn't expect that. I assumed that if they got a lower rate, they'd just be like, well, he already said, yeah, 6.5. Let's keep the premium. So I'm very excited about that. So the question is, let's talk about some financial stuff while we're here, while we're waiting. Yeah, we've got 20 minutes until the market closes. What do we expect? And you like the red background? I just figured, bloodbath in the market, go with red. What other things are we looking at? The margin may be compressed because of that, but we do have a lot of savings. I believe we're going to continue to see parts costs normalize. There shouldn't be any more lingering effects from the supply chain issues we had in the last few years. And any car company that's still blaming the supply chain has themselves alone to blame. That is ridiculous. So there's a lot of, opportunities to improve parts costs. We're watching them constantly improve efficiency. The margins on the Highland in China are not yet going to be fully realized. That's okay. Next quarter, we'll start seeing better numbers there. And now that deliveries have begun, and some people have said, well, there's no deliveries in China yet. Right, because China gets the best prices. Let's get them to Europe where the margin's nice and fat, load them all up on the ships like we used to with the delivery wave. We'll unwind it again next quarter or the quarter after. But, yeah. Ooh, Andrew also, what about the costs of the line upgrade? Those should not be significant. It's not like they brought in all new equipment that, all new machines, all that. So that should be minimal. It's just that they had the downtime. And the downtime appeared quite brief. So hopefully that is the case. And remember, I predicted this one. It's not something other car companies do, but I did get this one right, that they would take the lines down one at a time so that if something goes wrong in the upgrade, they're not stuck like they were with the S and X, which took forever to get them back out the door. So they took one line down. They just said what was it? Standard or just long range? I forget which models. Long range. It was just long range, right? So they could still sell standard range and performance. What was it? I don't remember now. Was it the standard range that they did first? At any rate, the other ones, they could continue selling in China because they were the lower sellers, and they could continue exporting to Canada and the Pacific Rim. And, and that's what they did. So it's going to be great. Oh, Austin was down for like a month. Yeah, no, I'm very curious what that was about. That's a question we should have pushed on the Say Technologies questions. A lot of times in this space, I cover the questions that were asked on Say, and we did that yesterday with Herbert and got some good ones. And I tell you, every quarter the questions that pop up get better. So that's pretty good, at least the top bunch. For those of you arriving late, the question was, where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you tuning in from? As specific or as vague as you like. I don't see Daniel Carlson, but I believe he's tuning in from Bacon. We'll find out if he's in here. Ooh, upgrading a factory in 2 weeks is very difficult. Because you've got some new metal. You've got some new everything. So, yeah, needless to say, I had months to prepare. You would absolutely need that. Tate Consulting, thank you so much for your congratulations on my order of the Tesla Model Y in 7-seat configuration, gray, 19-inch wheels, all that. And now, of course, I'm going to start getting some accessories for it. Maybe get it wrapped if I can find someone affordable. Paul's tuning in from France. Very, not too late, but pretty late. Lubbock, Texas. Barcelona. I can't say it right. Toronto, Sweden. Hastings, England. And John says he's from Earth, but I'm gonna need a fact check on that. Yeah. We'll see, John. We'll see. So we've got automotive. Now one question I would have is, did reducing the cost of FSD from $15,000 to $12,000 increase the take rate? Because this is what they study is, if we drop the price, can we sell more than enough additional to make up for it? And I hope the answer is yes. I hope that results in more margin. And remember, they already do count some of that money. We don't know what percentage, but some of it is they're able to book. They can't book the entire amount until they complete it. So that could be next week, next year, or in another life. It remains to be seen. Ontario, Earth, yeah. Aldergrove, BC. I got a lot of Northwest folks today. I got a lot of Canada folks today. That's very fun. Interesting. One question I would have oh, yeah. One question I would have is, what kind of coverage from ownership would you like to see? I will have 90 days of free FSD. I will be giving it all kinds of drives. I will give it easy ones. I will give it ones that I am sure it will fail, and we'll compare. I have seen it tackle impossible routes before successfully, and I have seen it not tackle easy routes. Mountains of Montana via Starlink. Very fun. FSD licensing deal announced today? I don't think so. I'm sure those conversations are taking place, but I don't believe any manufacturer is quite ready to pull the trigger until now. Maybe I could see a manufacturer saying, we're just going to do autopilot. Autopilot is a done system. It is solved. Autopilot is as good as anything on the market, far better than most, and leave the door open for FSD after that. But I can't see them doing the full suite, and I don't know if the cost would be worth it for those manufacturers. So I'm not sure on that. And the other question was Cybertruck delivery date. Boy, I hope so. I hope so. The insight there is the date that I was told, October 26th. I was told only about 4 days ago that has been pushed. I could have been misinformed, but that date has been pushed. And we saw the same thing with the Plaid debut, with the new Model S refresh debut, where they only gave people 2 weeks notice that the event was coming, and then 4 days before the event said, give me another week. And boy, that would really be unfortunate to have 11 days notice that you're not flying in 4 days, and that you need to book a whole second trip. That would be very unfortunate. So we shall see. So this is not it is not unusual for them to give incredibly short notice, and it is not unusual for them to give notice and then change the date. So those are things that happen. Let's see. Cybertruck mid-November. I am hearing November is now the delivery event, is the one it's expected. But I have heard that secondhand rather than from someone directly who would have that knowledge. Denmark, New Zealand. Is Denmark a city in New Zealand? That's interesting. Maryland, Ohio. What else we got? Yes. Andrew, thank you for the kind words. I work very hard to have insightful content. And I was asked yesterday, very directly, please, Brian, give us your earnings per share estimate. Your numbers are very good. And I said, I don't have them. I don't have them. I didn't do them. In order to produce, I could give you a ballpark. I could take whoever I think is closest and go a penny over or a penny under and then be like, oh, well, I missed, but I was in good company. Or, oh, look, I have a 50-50 chance of beating that expert. And that would be a very easy, very lazy way to do it. But I don't do that. To give quality numbers on earnings per share, you need to really not just pull an all-nighter and do a quick crash course the day before. You might get close, but it'd be pure luck. I would need you need to follow it for the whole quarter, and I have not had the time or the headspace to do that. And I believe you guys deserve better, so I'm not gonna fake it. I'm sure I could make a guess, and if I'm wrong, go, yeah, well, all of us were wrong. And if I accidentally get right, I could do the little dance and gloat and all that, and maybe that would raise my profile. But at the cost of my soul, and that's too valuable to me. Checking in from Belgium. I have been to Belgium. That's a lovely country. I had a conversation with someone on X the other day saying, well, I apologize on behalf of all Belgians. I said, I had a wonderful experience. Very nice people. But I went in the off-season. I went to a tourist town, but in the off-season. I went to Ghent in February, and it's very quiet. And having lived in touristy places, I can tell you, the locals are a lot friendlier during the off-season. And if anything, they might even be a little lonely. Had some wonderful conversations with some very colorful people. When am I getting that? Why? Don't know. VIN number has not yet been assigned. Newfoundland, where we are still waiting for a Tesla charging station. That's unfortunate. I went on PlugShare to look up all the free chargers in my area, and there are a couple. What do we got here? Oh, you know what? My VIN has been assigned. So, so I just got the notification this very second. My VIN has been assigned. So it says to go and upload my insurance information, and then I will be able to schedule delivery. Here's a question: if anyone local is around, would you like to make a thing of it? Should I invite you to my delivery event, just so you can experience the joy firsthand of someone else getting a car? I don't know. If you guys are taking delivery near me, I'd love to come and watch too. It's fun, I think. Illinois, with a very satisfied Model S, drove 5,000 miles to California and back on FSD 11.4.4 most of the time. I am looking forward to doing a lot of those drives. Yeah. Rob says, if you need a new Soul, I'll sell you mine for $100. I suspect you might have a third mortgage on that one already if you're selling it for $100. Am I giving away my trade with Tesla or private? So I got a quote from them that I was happy with. They said, great, now go outside and take pictures of it. I'm like, it's nighttime. So I took nighttime pictures, and they wrote back and said, we'll give you 900 less. I'm like, no, reject. I'll resubmit it in the daylight because it's not worth 900 less. It's worth, come on. I wonder when Tesla starts to lease cars. Oh, do you mean rent cars, like on a daily basis? Because they already do offer leases, just not... Oh, what's local mean? Pacific Northwest. I'm an hour north of Portland. I will be picking it up, I assume, from the Vancouver Tesla location. I am not in Austin. A number of people think of me as from Austin because they say, I've traveled to Austin a number of times, and every time I come to Austin, you're here. I'm like, right. Well, I think of you as an Austin person, too, because every time I come here, I see you. I'm not from Austin. Yeah. So I will announce that on Patreon, but also on Patreon for free members. If you want, there are a number of times when I will post things on Patreon that are not for paid members. You can sign up on Patreon to me without paying and get notifications of those free things. I will also announce it on X, and I'll probably mention it in a video or two. Oh, what am I naming it? Well, because I drag my crew around, I was thinking I'd call it Crew Dragon. Like apostrophe at the end there. I think. I was going to save that name for a Cybertruck, but Cybertrucks only have 5 seats, and they're not for sale. Monthly payments, yes. Yes, there will be monthly payments, and they will be a little bit uncomfortable. Am I going to the Cybertruck delivery event? At this point, the answer is no, because I don't have a ticket. So if anyone has a ticket and would love to +1 me, I will absolutely be there. And the second reason is, if there is a Austin Owners Club event and they would like me to present at it, I would be happy to fly down for that. But they don't particularly care for me. So I don't think that's a door that's open at this time. But I like them, so they can, Crude Ragon. Nope. Crude Ragoon. Nope. Let's pop it in here for you. I'm sure you already got the joke, but just in case, it'll show up. So, yeah. Now, a question people love to ask is, because we've got another 5 minutes until the market closes, which way will the stock go? The stock market used to be a little bit more predictable. It used to be that if somebody had inside information, they could engage in illegal insider trading. But if the last 8 to 15 quarters have taught us anything about Tesla, it's that even if you knew what the numbers were going to be, it wouldn't help you trade. We've seen it. We've seen misses on production or earnings when the stock goes up. We've seen big beats on production or earnings where the stock goes down. And we've seen Wall Street get it exactly to the penny, and it still makes the stock behave irrationally. So what I'm predicting is a narrow miss and the stock to go down. If it beats, I expect the stock will go down. But I don't trade, I invest. The beauty of being an investor is none of this matters. This is fun for me. This is I call it pre-game. We're pre-gaming here. When the game happens, we'll cover the game, and afterwards we'll have after the game analysis. But really, we're focused on the longer term. We're talking about the World Series in the end, which is where we're headed no matter what. You can have a bad day, you can have a bad game, you can have a bad inning and still win. Stock going to go like it always does? Yeah. I wonder if the price of used Teslas will decrease once the Cybertruck is being produced at volume. You guess people will be trading in 3s and Ys. I thought when the Y came out that 3s would get cheaper. I thought when the 3 came out, S's would get cheaper. And it just has not yet happened in that way. So I don't know. I don't know how that works. It's very interesting. These cars, I don't know how many of you have had the chance to ride in a Tesla that has 100,000 miles on it. But they're great. They drive great. If you keep them clean and all that, they look and feel like new at 100,000 miles. My Nissan minivan has 95,000 miles, and it does not look or feel or drive like it did when it was new. And I take good care of it. I get all the the synthetic oil and I take good care of it. It's a dyno burner. It's a steam locomotive. There are a lot of work to keep going. So Chicken Genius is going high. Well, Chicken Genius says a lot of things. Yeah, Chicken Genius has lost it. Chicken Genius was waiting to get in at, $95 a share when it dipped to, 110, 108? And he got greedy. And that's got to sting. Could have doubled his money. But he couldn't have, because that's gambling. You can't just look at what you could have done when what you're still doing is gambling. It's fun to see. There's a lot of people who got either very lucky, like the Big Short himself. He was right once, and now he's an expert for life. An expert at losing other people's money. If anyone wishes to participate in the poll, it is ending soon. It's so evenly split. I don't know what to say, but we will close that poll in less than 2 minutes. When the market closes, I will close the poll. I've never been in a Tesla, but I'm still all in. I had never touched a Tesla, let alone ridden in one, until I went out to visit Bear's workshop 2 years ago. And he couldn't believe it. So you invest in a company and you've never used their product. I'm like, yeah, I've invested in lots of companies whose product. Do you think I own a Boeing airplane? People invest in Boeing. I've flown in one, I'm sure, I guess, but I don't have to use the product to believe in the company. I'm not. It'd be different if I was a car reviewer who didn't drive cars. That'd be weird. But I was looking at it as an investment for myself. 1 minute to go. We should. Yeah. I agree that it's gambling, says David. I've held for 5 years now. I bought the dip of 2019. So my average share cost is... My average share cost, including ones that I bought at 281 and 184, my average share cost is still $19.78 because I bought a whole bunch at about $12.89. I had a friend contact me recently. Brian, I heard Tesla's falling. It's falling so much. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. And that's when I was adding a few more shares. And of course, not financial advice. Because again, even if I could tell you what's going to happen in the next few minutes or hours, I don't know what you would do with that information in terms of trading, especially now that the market is closed. So let's go ahead and close this poll. Boop. See how it went. Yeah, I'm just so glad that so many people like pudding. We've got a good 35, 40 people here who just really like it. And I can't blame you. It's tasty. If I don't know where Bulgaria is, but I've spent time in I've lived in Germany, so I have a pretty good idea where all those countries are. But you're still free to unsubscribe. I don't think my knowledge of geography should be the reason you subscribe. But yeah, I do live in Washington. Did someone ask that? My stupid brokerage has changed 3 times since I bought in, so I have no idea what my price is. Why didn't I tell you where I live? You knew which airport I flew out of, didn't you? I'm sure I told you. I invest in Tesla. Yeah, so there we go. Oh, kind of hoping it goes down. Would like a bargain. San Jose. I don't think Tesla is anything but a car company. And I worship Gordon Johnson. Very smart move. I saw the Tesla shorts historian, shorts historian, saying that Gojo is the analyst he admires the most, or he likes the most. And I said, no. He's not the analyst. He might be the topic you like the most, but other than that, I don't think he's the anything you like the most. Expectations are low. I'm going to hit the like. Oh, yeah, maybe hit some likes. Should we do that? That's a thing. Netflix up 7.5%. Netflix. It breaks me. I go on and I just scroll and there's nothing there. If it's any good, I've already seen it. Yeah. Numbers are out. How'd we do? Press release. Nope. Shareholder deck is what I'm waiting on. I'll do a harder refresh. Have not seen it. I seem like the type that remains. Hit refresh again. So I don't see it. So I'm going to have a little bit more coffee. Had to stop watching Gojo. I felt like I was getting dumber by osmosis. That's his job, is to make you dumber. What I love is that me and Dave Lee and Dylan Loomis, all of us, Best in Tesla, everybody, we say, this is not financial advice. This is not investment advice. Did you notice Gordon, who's apparently a licensed investment whatever, does not include that disclaimer. He is giving you financial advice. Maybe it's time to hold him accountable for it, because the advice he's giving you is bad and dishonest, and he knows it's dishonest. He had a very high rating on tip ranks until he initiated coverage of Tesla, and it destroyed his professional life. Destroyed it. His reputation is bad. So a few months back, 6 months, a year ago, he decided, I'm going to initiate coverage of some other companies just so I can bump my ratings back up. And if you look at the other companies he covers, they all do great. This is not proof of how stupid he is. It's proof of how cunning he is. There's a reason for this. I don't know what it is, but I guess it rhymes with smallers. I think I am at about 1.3 million in line for a Cybertruck. Looking to buy a used Model 3 to hold me over. Brian's wife purchased a Model Y Labor Day weekend. Last Saturday night, a person with no license or insurance, couldn't speak English, hit the back of the car, dinged up. It's unfortunate. That's why I always carry uninsured motorist. Very unfortunate. Do we have numbers yet? No? No numbers? The magic continues. As a reminder, I will shortly be on Tim's channel, Oracle Tim, Oracle Investments. Pop over there and see if he's waiting for me. Not yet. I'm on a stream right now. We'll join you shortly. Give me the link. So that's where I'll be after that. And then later I will be on probably a simulcast here and on Brighter with Herbert, where we will be missed by 7 cents. Oh no. Where we will be covering it. There it is. That's nice and tiny. Very difficult to see. 7.6% operating margin. 1.9 billion GAAP net income, 2.3 billion non-GAAP. Okay. Operating free cash flow of 3.3 billion, free cash flow of almost a bill. 3 billion increase in our cash and investments quarter over quarter. Okay, and 4 gigawatt hours of energy deployed, and more than doubled AI training compute. We forgot to mention how much they've been spending on building out the training network, and it's very expensive. Our main objectives remained unchanged, reducing cost per vehicle, free cash flow generation while maximizing delivery volumes and continued investment in AI. Our cost of goods sold decreased to 37.5. While production costs at our new factories remained higher than our established factories, we've implemented necessary upgrades to enable further unit cost reduction. Their average price, 37.5. Considering they're mostly selling Ys, that's pretty good. During a high interest rate environment, we believe focusing on investments in R&D will help us. Of course they will. We have more than double the size of our training compute, which is great. With a combined gross profit generation of over $500 million in Q3, our energy generation and storage business have become meaningful contributors to our profitability. Only $500 million. Oh, that's terrible. That's wonderful. And if it was a spin-off, if it was its own separate company, you might still want to invest in it, because it's gonna be huge, and it already is getting there. So what are we looking at? Auto revenue down 5%, or well, quarter over quarter down what? 0.5%? What is that? Anyway, not down much. Energy storage up a bit. Services and other revenue up a little. Yeah. So total revenue down slightly. I say slightly. I mean $1 billion, but I mean slightly. Yeah. Total gross profit, 4 billion. There we go. And GAAP gross margin, 17.9. That is a stronger number than I was expecting. I was fearful that this would be dropping more quickly than 0.3%. I think that's a very strong showing. Yeah, 17.9, that's wonderful. Okay. And earnings per share, yeah, 66 pennies. Yeah, Randy Kirk was at 84 cents, but I didn't watch his video to see how he arrived at that number. I'm glad I didn't throw in an earnings per share, because like everyone, I would have missed by a wide margin, because I'd have been, without doing my own months of due diligence, I would have just been right in the pack with the rest of them. That's a bad miss. I assume the after hours hockey stick is looking pretty gruesome. But I'm not going to bother looking, because I don't trade after hours. Net cash. Free cash flow. Yeah, almost $1 billion. Almost $1 billion. Not too shabby. To have free cash flow while building out so much capacity. It's quite wonderful. Total revenue grew 9% year over year. It was impacted positively by growth in deliveries, growth in other parts of the business, and negatively by reduced average selling price, including financial foreign exchange impact and negative foreign impact. Oh, wow. 0.4 billion in foreign exchange impact. Yikes. That's a much bigger number than I expected. Income decreased year over year. Randy can be a little optimistic at times. I need to get back over to this page here. There we are. Randy can be a little optimistic. What did he say? Bots worth 92 trillion? Something like that? that's on the higher end of the range estimate. Increase in operating expenses driven by Cybertruck, AI, and other R&D projects. Cost of production ramp and idle costs related to factory upgrades, yes. But helped by growth in vehicle deliveries, lower cost per vehicle, and IRA credit benefits. When they're making batteries, whether they're in the Cato Road facility in California or they're in Texas, they get IRA credits, as I understand, real dollars, $35 per kilowatt hour manufactured. So that's great. And growth in regulatory credit sales. Has anyone found the regulatory credit sales yet? I'd be very curious to see those. Production. I'm sure I skipped by it already. Operating, yeah. If somebody finds it, chuck it in the chat. Page 13 says Cybertruck deliveries begin November 20. Well, then we're going to page 13, aren't we? Boom. Cybertruck deliveries begin November 30th. It's going to be wild. I got a comment yesterday or today on a video saying, yeah, well, don't worry about October or November because this isn't the final design. They're going to completely change it. The steel's going to be thinner. The angle is all wrong. The windshield's going to crack from road debris, and yeah, the whole thing's good. And I was like, wow, that is a masterful bit of trolling because no, they're not. This is, if there's any changes at this point, they're going to be very small and under the skin. You will not see them. Regulatory credits is $554 million, says MD Hofsty. 554. Remember it was what, 2-3 years? They're gone. It's over. If they get any after this, it's going to be so small you can't count it. Guys, the more cars they sell, the more credits they have that they can trade to other manufacturers. And if you're going to tell, well, I can't count profit including that. I can't include it, even though it's real money and it spends just like all the other money, because it, you guys, it's just this government program. It doesn't count. It does count. It does count. And if you're going to try and back it out of Tesla's balance sheet, you need to back it out of the companies buying these credits from other people, buying them from Tesla and others, because the only reason that Tesla got that $554 million is because those companies would have had to pay more than that in fines rather than buy the credits. It's the government's way of saying, look, we know that companies like Tesla and others selling their ZEV credits can do a more capital efficient job of building out clean vehicles than we could by taking the money in fines. It's not that they don't want the money. Megapack factory in Lathrop. So wonderful. It's about 2.3% of the revenue at this stage. 2.3% is great. That's a lot of money. $500 million, nothing to sneeze at. And if you start annualizing it, remember the first phase of Giga Shanghai only cost $2 billion, $1 or $2 billion. So, I mean, right there, it paid for 25 to 50% of a factory. Mind you, it was a pretty small factory by Tesla standards today. Very exciting. Vehicle deliveries? Yeah, we know. Operating cash flow? Not bad. Not bad. And net income? Still I'm still happy with this. Because we're about to get the Cybertruck. Maybe not a big impact in Q4, much bigger in 2024. We're about to have the numbers show up on the books for the 3 Fresh. Next quarter, we're going to have the 3 Fresh in Fremont. There's a lot of things coming even before we get to, the compact or big numbers on the semi, or I think there might be a bee in here. I'm not sure. Might just be a fly. Remember, I'm mostly outside. So there's a lot of big things coming, but we don't need them. And those lower costs mean an additional price cut could be coming on the Model Y. And if they do that, that increases the market. They have more capacity to build them in Texas and probably in Berlin. And every time you cut the price, the market expands. That $2,000 price cut is the reason I was able to buy one, is the reason I was able to order one and get into the game. And when they drop it another two, that'll open it up to a whole new batch of people. It's up 1%? Do you mean the stock is up 1%? And I guess it is. It's up 1% in after hours. If you told me we were going to miss this hard and it'd go up 1%, I would not have believed you. The market is not rational. When did you stop being realistic? Cybertruck will do nothing in 24. Strong disagree. The pickup truck segment will be a game changer. Legacy Auto can't make EVs profitably, especially EV trucks with huge batteries. Agree. So, you disappoint me. Why can't you be more like Nick? Why can't you be more like your brother Nick? Yeah, it's exciting. This is the fact that the market did not react negatively is good news. I'm not worried about any of this. As we discussed, long term, stay the course. Do all that good stuff. Told you expectations were low. Yeah. Tesla, they still have $44 million in recourse debt they have not paid down. That might be kind of a minimum that you can have with this kind of operation. It's not a lack of desire. I mean, they could cut a check out of, pocket change, but I think it's something that is reoccurring and, short term, long term. And the fact that it's recourse isn't bad. It just means that they could do something about it. They could seize something to pay for it. And debt is not always a bad thing, especially now. If they've got debt that's at 3, 4, 5%, don't pay it off. Your money could be better used not paying it off. That's why I chose to put more down on the Model Y than I'm comfortable with, because I thought if somebody was going to pay me 7, 8% interest on my money, I would jump at it. By not taking out a bigger loan, that's what I was effectively doing. And that's probably why I got a much lower interest rate, is because the down payment is larger than I expected and larger than I'm comfortable with. But I got to keep the payment at a point where it doesn't kill me. Yeah. But Elon only gets paid $1. So the days of dollar paychecks are gone. It's illegal. He gets minimum wage. He just doesn't cash the checks. He's got a little binder of them, I bet. And the rest is stock. Just like how Peter Rawlinson got paid $350 million. What was it? $350 million this year? Because they're not a car company, so the cars don't really matter. Car volumes, car value, none of that matters. They're a stock. And since the stock hit whatever targets, I guess losing 90% from your all-time highs is good enough performance to get hundreds of millions of dollars. On the plus side, he was mostly paid in stock, which he can't really sell. If he tried, it would crash. It would crash. He couldn't do it. You would see, yeah. He gives his checks to Lil X to play with. Supercharger stations and connectors seem impressive on page 6. That's 7. Supercharger stations growing. Yeah. 6,000 total stations. A 31% increase year over year. We'd still like to see more, but with the standards opening up, is it going to matter as much? Maybe not. And there is still, remember, every outlet in the world is a Tesla charger in some way, at some speed. So that's exciting. Checks folded up and used to prop up wonky table legs. That's hilarious. Is Is this a check for $1,800? Yeah. Uh-huh. There will be no mass production of Cybertruck in 2024. I'll take the over on that. Strong disagree. I guess it depends on what your definition of mass is. When you get into thousands and thousands, that's mass production. I think it was stock car racing used to have a literal definition of what counts as mass produced, because you could only, the stock car races had to be a stock car as it came from the factory with very little modification. You could probably put in a roll cage, but that was about it. So some manufacturers would game the system by making 5 cars. So I think the number was like 17 or something ridiculous. It had to have a certain number in order to qualify as stock. So there's that. One more chance to, if you are joining late, where are you from? Where are you from? And should I go visit there someday? I know Who Is This did invite me to his evil underground lair, and has regretted it ever since, because now I know where his evil underground lair is. Tesla account on X said November 30th delivery. That's great, because it'll give everyone an opportunity to book travel. And I think that's good. I was so confused. You said Delaware, and I thought, why would they do it in... Oh, right, I asked you where you are. Got it. Delaware. Southern California. It's a big place. Denver. Yeah. It is much less costly when people do not cash checks. If they are not cashed, something needs to be done with the money. Worst case, give it to the government. Oh, yeah, biggest regret ever. Yeah, Tasmania. Wow. Pennsylvania. I thought Pennsylvania was an evil underground lair. Did I misunderstand that? I haven't been since I was like 3, so I have no memory. Oh no, I was like 6 or 7, and I went to Hershey. Yeah. As a 6-7-year-old, magical. Did I get to Northern Ireland? I did. We actually flew out of Belfast. Did not get to spend quite enough time. Warren, you're in Seattle. I'm taking delivery of my Model Y at the Vancouver location soon, week or two. So maybe I'll hold a little get-together for that. You can witness the joy in person. I don't know. To be precise, below 10,024 for Cybertruck, because they again released a product which is not ready. Get real, dude. Get real. Get real. Ugh. Blah. I get it. It's fun to kick hornets' nest, but don't. Let's just do this. There you are. Now you're in timeout. Clowning. Don't have time for that. 4 Cybertrucks in Texas car park today. 9 yesterday. Yeah, it's getting real. Oh, it's an above-ground evil lair. See, I didn't realize that. Let me hop over here. Oh, I see. That's why. There it is. So, guys, I'm about to jump over to Oracle Investments channel. If anyone wants to grab a link and pop it in here, I think they are already live. Let me ask, are you already live? I'll end my stream. If so, we'll find out. Might not see it. All right. So, guys, thanks for hanging out. I did want to thank my patrons who get, early access, ad-free investment, all that good stuff. Ad-free investment. But mostly they just help keep the channel going. Nigel wants to know, when do I get my Tesla? I don't know. During this stream, I got a notification that my VIN has been assigned. So, yeah. Yeah. Commuter branch line. Sorry I missed you too. I try to announce it as much as I can, as far in advance as I can, but they're, it's easy to miss. So what did I miss and misunderstand and all that good stuff? Stay tuned, stay juicy, and I can't wait to see you guys momentarily over on Oracle Investments channel with Tim and Peggy. Yeah. Let me click some buttons.